Hi, I decided to show all the film cameras that I shoot with and show the pictures from these cameras and discuss a little bit what I like and what I don't like about them. And I think I will start with the oldest camera. This is Kodak Retina. It's actually a very cool camera with a foldable lens. Obviously it's fully manual. It was produced in first camera. I'm just not very good at remembering numbers, so I'm going to be looking at the screen every now and then. First camera was produced in 1934 and it was being manufactured until 1969. So mine is one of the first models, so it's nearly 100 years old. And I shot one roll of film with it. And it was black and white film. If I remember correctly, it was Ilford 400, but I am not sure. This camera is actually pretty heavy for the size, because as you can see, it's pretty compact. It's not very big, but since it's all metal and I don't know what else is inside, glass obviously, it is pretty heavy. And let's have a look at the photos, and I'm going to comment on each of them. The first photo was actually, I don't know, rather one of the first or the last in the roll. And as you can see, these lines, the film was jammed when I was trying to take it out, and the wind in it back didn't work as well as you'd hope, so the film is a little bit damaged. This picture is from the same day, but it was just taken probably a little bit earlier. And I like it quite a lot, with the smoke and the sun coming in and the contrast. Then this one is the portrait that I didn't manage to take properly because of the focus, because obviously the focus is manual here. And not just that it's manual, but you have to guess the distance and set the distance correctly, because there is no rangefinder or anything like this in this model, so I didn't get the focus correctly, clearly. And then this one is double exposure. I can't remember whether it was done on purpose or not. I do have some recollection of trying to achieve double exposure, and here is one of them. I like the effect. I think it's pretty interesting. This is another double exposure. Same thing, I can't remember whether it was on purpose or not. So these are the pictures from this camera. Like I said, I used only one roll of film with it, and that was black and white. I'm thinking maybe I should put a color film in it as well, and try to use it and see what pictures can be done with color. It's just, I have to admit, with this camera I never know if I will actually end up with pictures or just messed up roll of film. That's why I haven't really used it so much. Then the next camera is Canon A-1. This is actually the camera that I use most out of film cameras. It's a great camera. All in all, it's just amazing. It's fully manual. You can set it to some auto settings if you need to. And also, by the way, it was produced from 1978 to 1985. Also pretty long time ago, but the quality of this camera, and actually I got lucky with the condition that I got, it was just like almost perfect. And it has light meter inside, it has the rangefinder, just beautiful camera that has the option to put the flash on and actually synchronize it with the flash. The speed for the flash synchronization is 1/60, and then it goes to 1/1000, so it's slightly restricting because if the scene is very bright, and for example this lens only goes to aperture 22 f/22, so yeah, that really depends on what kind of film you've got, because for example I have 800 ISO 800 now, and this is a bit problematic if it's really bright, but anyway, you can put filters on this camera. I tried to use it with a yellow filter, and actually quite interesting, especially in black and white, because it gives it some interesting effect. I don't remember what roll I did with this filter, so I can't really tell you and show you the pictures with the filter exactly, but let's have a look at other pictures that I've taken with this camera. This, if I remember well, because I got this camera in a set with some lenses. There were like telephoto video lens, so they were like wide angle, but they were not even actually lens, they were more like the attachments to this lens, so that would make it more like fish eye kind of effect or some sort of thing like that. I haven't used it much because the quality wasn't exactly great compared to the prime lens like this, but I think here's the picture from it, but I'm not sure, maybe it was just 35mm lens that is here. And I like the colors and everything, but of course colors depend on the film. And then this picture I like quite a lot as well, as you can see, because this was all shot with just the information from the light meter that is built in the cameras. And as you can see, depending where you point the light meter, because it just, I think, measures the area in the middle. So I try to just point it at the brightest spot and measure it by the brightest spot so that I don't have highlights. And I think this light and everything, I quite like it. Then this picture against the bright sky, as you can see, the camera still portrays everything very well, and this is black and white film. So I quite like black and white film too, and this one, but it was a cloudy day, so the contrast is a little bit less. And this, I like the contrast and everything, yeah. The color film looks very nice from this camera. And this one was actually my first roll that I've done, this picture from the first roll. And I think it was Portra 400, can't remember exactly right now. I need to start putting notes on the pictures with what film they were taken, but I love the colors of this film, and it's all nice and soft. Yeah, film colors are really beautiful. Then we will move on to one of my most interesting cameras. It's a Nikon Nikonos V. That was produced in 1984. This is interesting because you can shoot with this camera underwater up to 50 meters. So you can dive up to 50 meters underwater and shoot with it. I think that's pretty cool. And I did try and shoot underwater, obviously, but not 50 meters. I can't dive that far. And first I'll tell you about this camera a little bit. As opposed to the previous camera, previous model of this camera, it has manual shutter speed, because before it used to be just automatic. You can still set it on auto. I haven't really done it, but it's possible if I read on the internet correctly. Yeah, you can but on this camera you can just do it manually as well, which I think is great because it gives you more control. And you set your aperture manually and the distance. Actually, about the aperture, I'm just not shooting with this camera very often because it's really heavy, so carrying it around is inconvenient. About the aperture, I think I lied. Probably, oh no, actually, yeah, here is the aperture ring. Well, not ring, the wheel that changes the aperture. And on this lens it goes to 22, but there is a big gap in between the numbers, so it goes 11, 16 and then 22, and everything in between you just have to guess what number that is. And then you set the distance for the focus manually as well, and you aim, but the problem is it's not like mirrored from the lens, and so you can't exactly know the framing so well, because you don't see what the lens sees, you just see what this piece of glass is here, so the framing is a little bit different. but the viewfinder is really big, and this is convenient because you're meant to look through it with the scuba diving mask, and that's why it's pretty big and clear. So overall this camera is really cool, but you do need to make sure that it is actually waterproof, water sealed, because even when they were new you still had to do the checkups and maintain the sealing and everything, and especially now since it's been a long time since it was manufactured. Yeah, you need to make sure that it's actually waterproof, and for some reason not every roll that I took with this camera actually turned out okay, because quite a lot of rolls were just black, and I didn't quite figure out why. So if you have this camera and you struggled with the same problem, let me know, maybe I can fix it, but I don't know, because some roll is okay, some roll isn't. And this is a picture from this camera. I like the softness and everything, and but the quality, in my opinion, isn't as good as Canon here. However, it's still a pretty good camera. The biggest minus is because for the quality wise is because you can't exactly see where you're focusing. You're just guessing, and especially if the subject is moving, it's more difficult. And with Canon you can actually see what you're focusing on, so that's why quite a lot of pictures turn out to be not exactly really sharp, because you're just guessing, and that's why the picture might look like the quality is worse, because it's just a little bit more blurry. This is one of the underwater pictures. It doesn't look great because the water was really murky, and there was lots of sand in this water. It was in the sea, so yeah, actually works in salt water as well, but need to rinse it off after salt, obviously. Yeah, so but I think it's still interesting, and as things go, film underwater is pretty cool. This is another picture from underwater. This was already in the lake, and the water wasn't as murky as you can see. It wasn't perfectly clear though. This is a picture of me, and nice quality and everything, but I think I prefer Canon anyway. But it doesn't shoot underwater, so that's why I don't use this camera so much, because I use it primarily for underwater shootings and I didn't have so many. And this is another picture from this camera, and like I said, as you can see, I tried to get the corner of this building more in the middle, but I didn't quite manage to figure out the viewfinder things to fix it according to the viewfinder, because it's like I said, it's not reflecting what the lens sees, and the corner is completely out of the middle, and it was also like probably my second roll of film that I ever shot, so I didn't have much experience with cameras in general, because I started shooting film and digital approximately at the same time. So yeah, this picture is just to illustrate the quality of the camera. And the last camera here is Rollei. It was produced in 2002. However, I couldn't quite find much information about it on the internet, so it might have been produced later or earlier, I don't know, but if you want to Google it and see, it's Rollei x27c. And the lens is 30mm lens, so it's relatively wide. You just open it like this, and this also turns the camera on by opening the lens. You cannot control anything other than the film you put in. You don't even have to put the ISO. It just reads it automatically from the film. Then there is a button where you can turn the flash on, and the button to take the picture, and obviously to wind the film back when you finished. That's pretty much it. It's just point and shoot camera, convenient if you have holiday, or maybe you want to give something to your kids so they run around and take pictures of the event or something. That's what I did, and actually the quality from it is pretty decent. I'll show you pictures right now. I don't have many, I don't use it that often. For example, this one, and obviously it focuses automatically, so you just don't have control over anything. But the quality is still much better than I anticipated, if I'm honest. And this one, it didn't quite focus so well on anything here, it would seem. I like the pictures from it with the flash. I will put some here if I find them. And yeah, I mostly use this camera just if I go with friends and I just want to take a quick picture without actually thinking about anything. It's just literally cool thing to have, because it's actually very cheap and it's very light because it's all plastic, so it doesn't have much weight to it, and kind of pocket size. So if you want some film camera, it's very cheap, it's really easy to use. If you don't want to figure anything out, just buy film, put it in, and that's it. So this is my collection of film cameras that I actually use, and let me know if you have any questions about them, and see you soon.